What's up, YouTube? I sold the boat. With that said, we're on our way to the Denver Boat Show, baby! Yeah! Woo! Right after we get some gas.
I'm on the hunt for donuts. I'm on the run. They're mine! They're all mine!
Eventually.
Alright guys, well we survived the trip downtown, so we've never been to the boat show before, so we're not sure exactly what to expect, but we're hoping to look at some new boats. This jet ski setup is pretty sick. Here, check this out. Some of you are probably wondering why I sold the boat after putting all that work into it. For one thing, I seem to have a serious issue with buying something, fixing it up, using it for a little while, and then selling it. I think it's partially because I like doing projects like that. So this boat was a great starter boat for us. We ended up using the boat all summer and really enjoyed it, but we quickly realized that a bigger boat with a better seating arrangement was what we really wanted. So the main things we're looking for on the boat we want to get is going to be a longer boat with a deeper hull so that it cuts through the water better. Definitely want a better seating arrangement that can hold more people. And then we definitely want to go with an inboard-outboard motor with a swim platform on the back. Now I've seen a lot of these traditional ski boats and this layout's cool, but I don't really like the motor in the center, and you lose some seating because of that, because you need a walkway around the motor on each side. So we're really hoping for a layout a little bit more along the lines of the newer wakeboard boats that have like this wraparound seating. So can you guess which boat we bought? Well, if you think I could drop 100K plus on a boat, you're crazy. But wait, don't run off just yet. We did actually get a new used boat, and I want to tell you the story of how I got to this point by only starting with $1,100. For all of you that were only here for the eye candy, that portion of the video ends now. But for all of you average Joes out there who want to hear a story on how to get the toys you want on a budget, stick around. I'm just an average guy living paycheck to paycheck, but I still want to have a few toys and have the chance to get out and enjoy them just like the guys with the big bucks do. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate the guys with the big bucks. I just like buying their stuff when they're done with it. As they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So the journey for me started about 10 years ago. Newly married, young kids, and not a lot of money. I wanted a toy of my own, but I couldn't just afford to go out and buy exactly what I wanted. Ultimately, I had to compromise on a toy that would still be fun, but yet fall within my budget. After weeks of scouring Craigslist, I was finally able to piece together this deal on this aluminum fishing boat with trailer and outboard motor. By finding it all from separate sellers on Craigslist, I was able to piece together everything for a whopping $1,100. I used the boat for a couple years and had a great time with it.
It's awesome!
Wait, what is it?
It's a fish.
I decided at this point I had had enough fun with the boat and I wanted to get an ATV. So just to see what would happen, I thought, well, I'm going to throw the boat on Craigslist for trade, just to kind of see if anybody would give me any cool offers. And after receiving tons of emails and tons of different offers, I finally got an offer from a guy who wanted to trade me a crotch rocket for the boat. Obviously, this was a good deal for me because the crotch rocket was worth way more than the boat, and I thought I could sell it or trade it easier to get to that ATV that I wanted. So I made the trade. I put a little bit of time cleaning up the bike and getting it looking good, and then I put it right back on Craigslist for trade. Again, after fielding tons of emails, I finally found a guy who was willing to offer me an ATV for the crotch rocket. So I made the trade, and at the time, this ATV was worth about $3,500, and to this point, I still had only spent my $1,100 cash. All the trades were straight across. I ended up using that ATV for a few years, and then I got the idea that I wanted to buy 3 dirt bikes, one for me and one for both of my kids. With that said, I went ahead and put the ATV on Craigslist for sale, and I ended up selling it for $3,500 cash. I then took some of the money and I bought my son a dirt bike. While in the process of looking for a bike for myself and my other son, I ran across a guy who was desperate to sell 3 bikes that he had for sale. He gave me an incredible deal, so I bought all 3 of them, knowing that I could sell the other 2. After I sold the other 2 dirt bikes, I was finally able to buy myself a dirt bike. After all the dust settled from buying and selling the dirt bikes, I wound up with a dirt bike for each of my kids and a dirt bike for me, as well as $500 cash in my pocket. We used the dirt bikes and loved them for several years.
Alright, right next to you right now.
Then I got the idea that I wanted to sell all 3 dirt bikes and buy a boat. So I put all 3 dirt bikes up on Craigslist and ended up selling them and making a total of $5,500. In searching for a boat, I ran across a screaming deal on a fixer-upper boat, which is what ultimately led to the Boat Project series. After using that boat for 2 years and fixing it up, we realized that we really wanted a larger boat. We were enjoying it so much. So that's ultimately what led to the sale of this boat. Now, with all that being said, up until this point, my only out-of-pocket expenditures was that initial $1,100. Now, truth be told, I did have to add some money out of pocket to get the new used boat. But it was not as much as you think, and it was well worth it because I got an amazing deal on the new used boat, which we will be revealing in the spring, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so we explored the Denver Boat Show and we got to see a ton of amazing eye candy. I shared my toy story with you, but I do hope it gave you some ideas. Obviously, it takes a lot of time and patience when buying and selling used items. It's not for everybody and it doesn't always work out, but I have found it to be an extremely helpful tool. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. And stay tuned for the boat reveal video as well as our upcoming RV camping series. As always, thank you for watching and join us on our next adventure.